I'm sure you've heard the phrase built, not bought, and it's usually a reference to an entire car because you built your car and you didn't buy your car. But did you know that it can also apply to the very parts you put in your car? Do you build your parts or do you buy your parts? That's the subject of today's episode. I'm Mike and you're watching My Car Shop. Each project here is approached a little differently, but it's all based upon the one foundation of we buy as little as possible to conserve money so that we have resources for other things, and we build as much as we possibly can. Everything you're seeing underneath this car up to this point is handmade except for the trunk floor, which was donated by a channel viewer. But trunk floor supports, rear frame rails, all the floor pans, subframe connectors, every bit of it is hand built, hand fabricated using old craftsmanship, old school craftsmanship, metalworking skills that can be done with very, very simple tools. I'm passionate about this subject enough that I didn't want to do this on one of our Talk About It Tuesday episodes, but I wanted to do it in one of our hands-on episodes because I want to give some perspective here on this. Again, we have so many new people here on the channel, and I just want to lay a clear foundation over why we do what we do. We may think, oh, it's not worth the time. It just, all we got to do is just get this thing done and buy everything. And that's fine. If you have the resources to do that, that's great. We take a little different approach here. We bought this car for $300 from a junkyard. It was rotted from the firewall to the rear bumper. We've handmade most everything from here back except for the front frame rails and the part, well, we did even make part of the transmission cross member because it was cut out. This car alone, in the condition it was in, with a crushed roof, would probably sell realistically for a couple grand. I've seen them go for $1,000 up to $3,000. This one was a 318 car, nothing special, and it was pretty stripped. So I would guess it was probably in that, say, $1,500 range, maybe. But I also went through, and there's an episode on the channel from a while ago, I also went through and just looked at a rough number on what it would take to have purchased these parts. And these are just a range of prices based on market value. The rear frame rails for a pair, this doesn't include shipping, $500 to $800. One piece trunk floor, we went a little cheaper route with that one, but it was donated by a channel viewer, $350 to $600, depending on the brand. Trunk extensions for a pair, a couple $100. Rear wheel wells, inner and outer, for the pair, $300 to $600. The full floor pan for the middle here, $700 to $1,200. That would probably total up to $3 or $4 grand total for the pieces to do this car. Now, we bought one sheet 4x8 of 20 gauge steel. We bought one sheet 18 gauge steel. We bought two sticks of 2x3 box tube for the subframe connectors. And that's pretty much all the materials that we have into it. The trunk floor was donated. That was a less expensive Sherman part. We have everything we need for the car. Both quarter panels, we did buy those. I have a door skin that was off of a CUDA that was donated that I can adapt for the one door that needs a skin. That'll be some metal work. I have the motor, the 4-speed transmission, clutch pedals, everything we need for that except for the bell housing for the most part. Rear end 323 posi for the Chally. This car could be running and driving with a purchase of a few minor things. We have $3,000. Kat, you're getting dangerously close to being painful here. We have around $3,000 in this car at this point. Everything's hand fabricated. Some of the steel that we're using was just recycled stuff that we found on side of the road or got from different sources. The point is that to buy the parts for this car would cost as much or more than we have into the entire project and having everything we need to put the car back together again and make it driving You see the difference? So where we did the full cost, if we went to fair market value on everything we got for this car that we picked up for pennies on the dollar or bartered for or whatever, um, good luck with that. Um, we've got $3,000 in this car. Fair market value for everything would be somewhere around $15,000. Okay, you've got to come down here or you're going to get hurt. Come on, let go. Every bit of this project is here on the channel. No, we didn't do perfect butt weld, cut and butt weld stuff. I've demonstrated those techniques and how to do it in certain places on this car. I purposely did this quicker. We did a lot of overlap. We did a lot of plug welds. Didn't care if we saw some stitches because this is the Stitches Challenger. And so we handmade these things using a bead roller. We used a bead roller and a sheet metal brake to make things like the frame rails. All that stuff is demonstrated here. There's one thing that money can't buy, and that is the satisfaction of making it yourself. I'm not saying there's not satisfaction in buying parts and putting them in. I'm not dissing that. That's not what this channel is about. I love fabricating. I've loved fabricating my entire life. I like the challenge of, can I make that? And the sense of accomplishment that I get when I make a reasonable representative or a near perfect representative of a floor pan or a frame rail, there's nothing that can compare to that for me. There are plenty of other channels that will show you how to install purchase parts. In fact, on the Forsyth Duster, that's what we're going to be doing, just to demonstrate different techniques. But we will always gravitate back to making stuff, not buying it. You are quite the little pill today. Yeah, it definitely takes time to do all of this. But when you can lose yourself in it, when you lose the stress and pressure of the world, when you just get completely enraptured in the build process, there's nothing like it. And there's no amount of money that I can put on that. The benefit and the value and the satisfaction is bar none for me. For somebody else, you would think that's a waste of time. I get that. I totally get that. That's no judgment here. That's not what this channel is about. Is it? I think I'm going to call you Calvin Klein. Yeah, you're not Chip and you're not Little Gray. You're a little climber. As a businessman, I'm always looking on return on investment. That's the way my mind works. If I'm going to spend this, what is that going to return to me? And obviously, I'm looking for something that's going to return a great return, not just a small return. And you think, well, your time is worth so much more than all of the time it takes to do this. Not necessarily. When you weigh in that the biggest return on investment is the satisfaction and the one thing that you can't buy, and that is the skills that you develop. The more you work with metal, the better you start understanding metal, the better you get with metal. You just start to really become not just someone who is a parts installer, but you start to become a true craftsman at what you do. As the CEO of a company and a businessman, I spend all of my day thinking about the cost to do something, the time it takes to do something, and what's the most bang for the buck. That's the last thing I want to be thinking about here. My number one priority is what's the most fun for me. Developing skill. I mean, the skills that you develop and you learn, the things you learn each time you do a project apply to so many other things in life. I can't emphasize that enough. Am I passionate about it? Of course I'm passionate about it. That's why I have this channel right here. The things that you take away from it, the return on that investment is priceless as far as I'm concerned. If you get that satisfaction out of putting in bought parts, more power to you. There's plenty of other channels that are for that. This one is about doing it yourself and making it and saving big money at Menards. No, we're not at Menards. Saving big money at MKS. My good buddy Michael over at Faro Iron and Customs just was commenting to me the other day about the importance of actually having a network and having connection. And that is a big part of this, everything going on here at MKS. If you've watched the 900 episodes we have on the channel, or even a small smattering of that, you will see that a lot of what happens here is because of a lifetime of connections and relationships. 39 Dodge pickup. The only reason we have that, and we got it for pennies on the dollar, was because of connection and relationship. This car got it because of connection and relationship. Go on down the list of all 14 cars that MKS owns or is working on here that belong to the shop itself or to somebody related to the shop. Every one of them is with that same foundation. We are not doing customer work here. There's a few times that we do customer work. John 66 Belvedere, my buddy John, I do work on his stuff once in a while. My buddy Dave on that white pickup that I painted for under $500. But very rarely do we do work for somebody else. Everything we're doing here is for MKS. I've been building cars since I was a kid. So over 40 years, I've been building cars. One of the things that people will say is it takes so much longer to do it this way. And I would say to you, I'm not so sure that's true. Maybe. But what I have found is even when I was doing things like the 47 Ford, where I bought most of it and just assembled it, it still took me 10 years to get that car done. We're a little over 5 years into this. I think it's just a matter of what you're spending your time doing more than anything. Yes, if I was doing this for a customer at a shop rate of $150 an hour, there's no way you could charge a customer the amount that you would have even at $75 an hour. That I get. But we're talking about doing it yourself. We're talking about doing it for yourself. We're talking about doing it for satisfaction, and that is priceless. It starts by learning to think differently. It starts by approaching things from step one with a different perspective. And I admit, I did it for years. When I would get a new project or be considering a new project, the first thing I would do is go to the JEGS catalog and start going down and writing down what it was going to cost for this, that, and the other thing. Then I would go to the auto parts and get the list of costs for all of the body panels and parts and everything that I needed there. And I would look at the number and I go, golly, that's a lot of money. And then I would just have to break that expense down into little bite-sized pieces over time, which explains why maybe it takes 10 years to do a project, because you're waiting on cash, you're waiting on resources, you're waiting on things to ship. Maybe what you're spending the time on, it's not a matter of one's better than the other, but I personally love to come out and see the floor pans in that car and go, I did that all by myself out of that piece of flat steel that I picked up for $150. To me, that's priceless. You got me a little bit concerned here. What? Come on, all the way. Come on. I would encourage you, ooh, that had to hurt. I would encourage you start out by asking, what can I make with what I have? What skills can I develop? Do a cost comparison on making this floor pan versus the cost of that floor pan. Look at the time. All of that together, I think, is how to learn to think differently and see things differently. You may end up buying all the parts. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I would just encourage you to just take a step back and go, let me think differently about that. So let me tell one more story and then I'm going to shut up. When I brought this car home in the summer of 2019 and it was sitting out here in the yard, I started banging the roof out and I was looking the car over and I started going down the rabbit hole of, all right, I'm just going to order everything for it. I'm just going to go ahead and order entire rear clip package, entire floor pan, a new roof, AMD quarter panels. I'm going to go that whole route and just get this done. Boom, boom, boom. The price tag for that was pretty significant, as we've already talked about. 2020 hit and life fell apart. My successful business started going backwards, and it didn't stop until this year, honestly, until 2025. And we're starting to get things turned around again. If I've had hardly enough money to pay my bills, much less have any extra money to do anything. I'm just being transparent here. This is the reality of what has happened to my small business. If I wasn't making all this stuff, this car would still be sitting because I wouldn't have had the resources to do any of this at all. It would probably still be sitting out in front of the shop with the roof banged out and some white primer on it. That probably would be it. But you see, it goes back to that video that we just did on agreements. I didn't say I can't. I said, no, instead of doing all that, I'm going to take on the challenge of hand fabricating everything on this car so that I can keep moving forward. And of course, since then, we've had more and more and more projects fall into our lap as well, a large part due to this. I can't emphasize enough that once you set aside I can't and you start looking at what you can do and start doing what you can do, there's an energy that comes that's almost unstoppable. $3,000 into that Challenger project for a car that could be running and driving, even though there's a few pieces missing like the hood and the grill and the front bumper, things like that. We have most of it. A lot of those cars, like I said, sell for $1,500 to $2,500 in the condition that one was when I got it. Add to that the $4,000 or $5,000 it would have taken to buy all the sheet metal, and the list goes on. We got $3,000 into it, and we're much, much further ahead than if I was sitting there waiting for all that money back in what I was planning initially in 2019. We have a car that can be on the road in the next year or two, maybe sooner, depending, but we have 13 other projects as well. So anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Normally this would have been a talk about it Tuesday, but I really felt it was important to just spend some time kind of just really going back to the ethos of this channel. Why would I buy it if I can make it? Answer those questions for yourself. You may get yourself the answer you need by saying, why would I buy it? And you list out your reasons for buying it. When I can make it, and you list out your reasons for making it and going, it makes more sense in my world to buy it. I think for a lot of us, it makes a lot more sense to learn how to make it. And I'll say this too. When I first started this stuff, I had to remake things several times. So what? You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I don't hide anything on the channel. I can't remember anything on the Stitches Challenger that I had to cut out and make again. Because the more you do it, the better you get at it. All right, that's going to do it. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We have channel memberships for as little as $5 a month. You get access to all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. We have merchandise. Down there is a link to the Schultz Sign Company on Etsy. If you search within Schultz Sign Company, not in Etsy, but within Schultz Sign Company, when you click the link, click MKS, and you'll find all of our merchandise there as well. And there's one more thing that the old timers around here, those who've been with me from episode 1, and there's a bunch of you, you'll know what it is. Don't forget, it'll change your life. It's important.